Hey, good evening, everybody. I'm Spencer Labarge, the chairman of the Swanton Development Review Board. Other members here tonight are to my far right is Reggie Yellowboo. Jim Pratt to my immediate left, Jennifer Yando to my far left. Also tonight, we have Christina Candles here, our administrative assistant, and also our zoning administrator, Amy Drew. Thanks for coming. Welcome back.
Thank you.
These proceedings are being recorded. If you would like copies of the minutes, please sign in with your name, mailing address, and the application you are interested in. We'll be reviewing the following items tonight. Number one, we'll be looking at DRB 05-2025. Ron Macy request for final plat approval for a 5-lot subdivision located at 127 Lakewood Drive in the SR Shoreland District. Number two, DRB 09-2025. Richard Cummings requests for a final plat approval for a 7-lot major subdivision located at 61 Lydias. Did I say that right? Yeah. Lydias Ridge located in the SP Southern Growth District. We'll also be looking at number three, DRB 1025, William Bean and Rachel Martell request for a preliminary plot approval for a 7-lot major subdivision located at 63 Basham Road in the R3 moderate density residential district. And number four, we'll be looking at DRB 13-2025, Jason Bushy request for a boundary line adjustment located at 110 Sugar Maple Drive in the R3 moderate density residential district. And finally, we'll be electing a new vice chair tonight. Garrett is opted to get off of the board for retirement reasons, other reasons I should say. So reviewing of the agenda is done. We will conduct this meeting in an orderly manner. Copies of our rules and proceedings and conflict of interest policy will be made available if requested. Is everybody signing in on the clipboard? Who's here?
We're working on it.
Working on it. Okay. If you have any questions on that, but please sign in on the board there for what you're here for. At this time, I'd like any of the board members to make known any possible conflicts of interest or any ex parte communications. Reg?
No.
I have none. Jim?
I did have discussion with Jason Bushy and recommendations for what he had called and asked about what he's coming before the board with. Other than that, it's up to him whether I stay or not.
Mr. Bushy?
He's fine with it.
Mr. Bushy?
I'm fine with it. Yeah.
Okay, all right. And they were just general questions, but
Yeah, no.
perfect. All right, and Jen?
I have none.
All right, any interested persons are those persons who under Vermont law have the right to appeal an act or decision of the town of Swanton zoning administrator or DRB. Interested persons include the applicant, or if the applicant does not own the subject property, the person owning title to the property, a municipality that has a plan or bylaw at issue in an appeal, a person owning or occupying property in the immediate neighborhood of a property that is subject of the zoning decision or act. And you can demonstrate a physical or environmental impact on the person's interest under the criteria reviewed and who alleges that the decision or act, if confirmed, will violate the municipal plan or bylaw. Any 10 persons, either voters or landowners, who by signed petition to the DRB or PC allege that the decision or act, if confirmed, will violate the municipal plan or bylaw. Any department or administrative subdivision of the state owning property within the municipality and agency of commerce and community department. Why is interested person status important? Though many members of the public may be interested in a zoning permit applications, only statutory defined interested persons may appeal a decision of a zoning administrator or development review board. If an interested person fails to make a timely appeal, all interested persons are bound by the officer or the DRB decision or act. Interested persons must participate in a hearing to protect their appeal right. Only those interested persons who have participated in a DRB or proceeding or PC proceeding may appeal a decision rendered in that proceeding to the environmental court. pursuant to the state statute. Participation consists of offering through oral or written testimony, evidence, or a statement of concern related to the subject of the proceedings. Is that understood? Okay, at this time, I'd like everybody to please rise. Carl, please come off mute, put on the camera so I can sign you in if you're gonna ask questions. Well, you're not, Carl.
No, I'm Lindsay.
All right, Lindsay, all right. Please raise your right hand.
I have a good cartwheel, but with straight legs.
All right, I hereby swear that the evidence I give and cause under the consideration shall be the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help me God. I do.
Do.
All right, so let the record be known that everybody, including on Zoom, is sworn in. All right, some housekeeping instructions here as to how we run this DRB board. Basically, what will happen is as I go down through the agenda, the applicant will come up, they will have a seat at the table with us, they will present their case. The onus is on the applicant to present their information to us. I will have some questions, the board will have some questions, and when we're done asking the questions to the applicant, I will then open it up to questions in the community. Questions in the communities consists of you raise your hand, you state your name so we can record it in the minutes correctly, and you ask your question directly to me, not the applicant, directly to me. And if I can't answer the question, I'll call on board members, or I may even ask the applicant to assist, and the applicant will then answer the question to me. Am I clear?
Yes.
Okay. Just want to make sure that we're all on the same page about that. Helps keep things moving straight and forward. All right. So with that, let's start off with DRB 05-2025, Ron Macy requests for a final plat approval for a 5 sublot division located at 127 Lakewood Drive. How you been?
Good seeing you in a while.
You
What's it been since last month?
are
The month before that?
you getting tired of us?
No. I love going to school. It's close to home. Do we have, is that one of our rules in our meeting? Possibly.
Yes, we have the
supplementary.
final one.
Okay, so I did deliver to my owner to them as well. But I have here, it's the same, looks like you guys have draft copies. No. So I mean, honestly, between the draft and the final, there's hardly if any minor changes, it's just aesthetic and making the boss happy so you can sign it. But happy to go through the summary again
Yep,
for the third and final time.
Yep, let's just do that, and then we're all on the same page.
Yeah, so we're proposing lot 2 being 1.47 acres with a shared mound wastewater system. That application has been submitted and we're pending at the state approval level. They'll have a single family residence and a drilled well on that lot. And then lot 3, 1.03 acres, again, single family residence, drilled well. That's served by that shared system on lot 2 for wastewater. And then there is an access easement as well for both of those lots 2 and 3. And then lot 4 being 1 acre, individual well, single family residence, and that is accessed off an easement from lot 5. That is also served by the shared mound system on lot 2. And then lot 5 being 1.56 acres, individual mound system and well for the single family residence. The remaining lands being 94 plus or minus acres, not proposed any development at this time, we're being.
So your building envelope is the green dotted lines?
Yes, essentially,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay, all right, good, well. All right, septic system.
Yes. Not necessarily right away, it is called out in the deed as a parcel that is owned that is about 20 feet wide.
Yes.
Last time we discussed this landowner's still not sure if they're gonna convey some of that rights to buyers of these lots or not yet. That'll be up for the lawyers to figure out how to do.
That's
that.
right, that's right.
Yeah, that's right,
Yeah.
good. Jim, do you have any questions?
No, look, I can't see where you changed anything, honestly.
It's Mostly just minor like text, flow direction and so that way the lawyers can do their descriptions. Essentially making that read better.
So speaking of that, just for my general knowledge, and so you can educate me, these green slash lines around, is that just terrain?
That's the contours that the board members are so fond of.
Yeah, it's elevation,
Just
elevation.
wanna make
Yes,
sure,
10-foot contours.
yeah, I just wanted to make sure that that's what I was thinking.
Kind of lay of the land, you got the road and then there's a slightly elevated ridge. And then it kind of rolls back down to, you can see the ag ditch in the back, near where that district zoning line is.
Yeah. Okay.
We kind of got a high ridge that has a nice view of the lake. The intent is for, supposed to be able to have.
And then drainage will come off the backside.
Yeah, well, anything that would roll over the hill would had plenty of grasses that goes over.
What's
Ken?
the flood height, is that, I'm sorry, what the flood, was it 103 or 104?
104.
Was it 104 flood line?
Reg, seeing how you're up.
Yeah, I'm good, that was the only question, and I apologize for.
No, that's okay, no, it's okay, I was trying to stay in my left side first, and then I was gonna go to the right side, okay? Jen,
More of a curiosity, with that shared amount of wastewater being the opposite end on lot 2. And going across lot 2, across lot 3 to get to lot 4, at what point is the weight of driveways and houses and such on top, like where are the lines gonna be connecting that all from 4 to 2 without it being?
Yeah, so lot 3 and 4 are gonna have a pump station.
Okay,
So that utilizes a conveyance of a force main, so that force main will be dug in and buried well beneath the driveway. The contractor behind me will be the one responsible for making sure he's plenty of depth below that driveway for frost protection. For frost protection and then if necessary insulation over that as well to protect that force main.
Okay.
It'll be sleeved.
but will that
Above
affect the weight of equipment and such that
Of course.
drives on that driveway and?
Or maybe sleeve,
Yeah,
we'll
let's-
sleeve under the road and then run it through the.
Thickness of the pipe.
That would be a 2-inch conveyance line, so the idea is to get that 5.5 feet possible.
Thank you.
And that meets all state statute for that, right?
That meets their requirements, yes, yeah, and
Do you
that's
know you have, that is pending?
yes, sir,
So, then I think, see now this is full, right?
yes, we have a Mylar delivered, so that's our goal.
Alright, so, alright, so. Do we have to do this on contingency of that letter? We do, right, on the final, on the septic?
Either way, I expect to hear back from them soon.
Okay, perfect, alright, so then that might be on for the condition,
Mhm.
okay, approved with that letter being, and then a copy goes to the town anyways. so-
It's because it's a larger project, it's a 45-day review, so they're nearing 40 days now, I believe.
Alright, so you guys, so okay, so just
Oh, there you
you know what I'm thinking is that would be one of the.
Yeah, you've done that before, that's right.
Alright, I have no questions, any questions in the community? Alright, hearing none, thank you very much, and will you be back next month with another project?
I don't know yet, maybe, we'll see if something pops up. I don't have anything in the calendar yet. Alright, thanks.
Did everybody sign in?
Yep.
Let's see that person. Did you sign in, sir?
I guess we're gonna move on to number 2, DRB 09-2025, Richard Cummings.
He's not in.
Mr. Cummings is not here?
No. Is anybody
No, I didn't
representing
see
Mr. Cummings?
That's very unusual. Very unusual, alright, well,
Madam Spencer, I am aware of the changes because I had to provide those changes.
for Mr. Cummings?
For Mr. Cummings.
Stuff that I.
No, I know,
I'm
I just want,
sorry.
no, that's fine.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I think, yeah,
Keep it short.
yeah, I'll just keep it
Okay,
on
that's
the
fine.
mark and hopefully he'll show up. When you guys just start calling.
I'll go call him.
Yeah, please do, or at least get him on speakerphone or something when the time comes.
have them zoom in.
Yeah, have them zoom in, Amy.
If you can't make it.
Alright, so then with that, then let's move on to number 3. Stefan, are you doing Richard Cummings drawings or is
What
that?
I'm doing is wastewater, Mark Day is doing is thorough.
Thank you.
Alright, well, we'll see what Richard happens, okay? Thank you, Phil, appreciate that, Stefan. Alright, so number 3, DRB 10/2025, William Dean and Rachel Martell. Request for a preliminary plat approval for a 7-lot major subdivision located at 63 Basham Road in the R3 Myers Country resident. So I know, alright, so where we at now here, boys?
Alright, so we took your review comments and looked at them.
Yep,
They're very straightforward, no big,
can you just for the record, can you go through the review comments item by item, so the members of the community can hear what we asked for after the last meeting? Yep.
Can you state your name?
Thank you.
Stefan with HR with TDU. William. Alright. Okay, your first condition was the access for lots 11, 12, and 13. I wasn't aware that it was 3 lots was brought up to a road standard because in the regs, 3 lots are considered a driveway, but. So we changed it around the access for 11 and 12 to a driveway. And 13 will now be served with a shared drive with 14.
Okay,
And the drives are highlighted in yellow, makes it a little easier to see.
thank you for that. Yeah, we had a hard time with that one, sorry.
Yeah, no, that's fine. So that took care of the first bullet on your
Punch list,
punch list. The driveways need to be shown, so those driveways are there. Stormwater state permit, that is in the works, the engineer is working on that.
okay,
That permit's not in hand, but eventually it will be, but it's in the works. And as we stated last time, the wastewater permit is already in hand and. Bill brought it up, to recorded with the town, had it recorded.
and that was, let me get to, sorry, let me get to the right here.
So it's at 2045, 6/2045.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure because one of those was an older date and I know it's so old that was something that the town would have acted on, and I just wanna make sure that there's a review for currency to today's standards, that's all,
Right, yes, it is, and so the current permit is -11,
-11.
yeah.
And the original was -what?
Well, WW 6/27/63
Okay,
for the original permit.
okay, alright,
And then, of course, there's some EC permits that are listed on the plat for these existing lots off of Bashan. So you see all that on there. Those are in red.
alright, so just talk us through the wastewater one more time here,
Okay,
that meets the permit
correct.
This one.
for these.
Right, those dash systems are for the 3 lots off of Bashan.
Yep,
Then the other system right along parallel with the proposed drive.
Yeah.
Goes to lot 8, which is pre-existing, lot 8 is under your hand.
Back here.
sorry,
By the existing cul-de-sac.
okay. So over here then.
Right,
No, this.
This here goes up to here, right into here.
Oh, I thought it was right here.
No, this is for these.
correct.
Yes, and there's another one right here.
That's right.
Yes.
That one goes to
This
lot
box
8.
lot eight, right?
Okay, got it.
Yeah, that's existing.
Okay,
And this one is for just this one and this
okay. Alright, well, the main thing is you got them all in one area, so, okay. Alright,
It's hit and miss out here, because there's some very hard sand out there,
yeah,
which makes it very hard to put septic on.
yeah,
Um,
okay.
Yeah,
Yep, no, continue on.
okay, so in the. Then you asked for a cul-de-sac for the drive that was for 11, 12, and 13. So that came out on 11, 12.
That's the model. Cause we didn't feed number 3.
Gotcha.
Through
So-
the shared drive, so
so
we'll
you-
cul-de-sac there.
So you're gonna feed in from here, from the cul-de-sac here, then feed in.
Correct.
Got it.
Which one to me, right?
So this section we saw last month is gone,
Yes.
Yes,
and yeah,
That's when we added shared drive
got it.
to 13.
Okay,
and that was the main changes, just that driveway. For 11, 12, and 13, 14. The rest basically is the same as what was presented last month, none of the lots changed. None of the setbacks changed. We went over the wastewater before, we have wastewater for 5 lots in the upper right hand corner. But. There's 5 lots worth of septic there, there's 2 shared mounds and 1 single mound.
wow, things like this, that would probably be right here, okay. That's okay.
Yeah. And those are the ones that are already approved.
So,
Under this actually, 11 permit. And that's the permit that was recorded after the last meeting.
okay, and you got one already existing, right, that was this one right here?
That one exists, correct?
And how is, and that was, and that feeds
Lot 8,
lot 8, and that's already
that's already
in there,
all
okay,
the piping, the mound is built, it's grassed over.
okay. Good,
Lot 14 will have a lot of easement. Conditions on it. When the lawyers come to write the deeds. Yeah.
alright, so,
Mr. Chairman, can I make a comment?
yeah, well, I was gonna start with you for questions first, but go
Where
ahead.
you were. I have a very hard feeling with this business of lot 14. Containing these septic designs here, should be all put into a homeowner association. And charged off to the ones that it goes with. I have a problem with this business of going over the top, and if there's a failure, going up through somebody's property here, you're selling. Lots to people. And then using part of it for a benefit of the sales.
And 14 will be paying the taxes on the property, but doesn't have.
And I really have a hard time with this person up here. He buys this lot and he's got all this on his part of his, they own part of it. That should be put into a homeowners association for these 3 here. And this one over here. And then for these 2 here. Separated and be theirs.
So in the past, with other projects that I've come in front of you with, you requested a homeowner HOA for wastewater. Stormwater per the state requires HOA. So. And as far as the 3 existing lots and anything that was approved prior. I don't know, it's tough to go and get those folks to come into an HOA, I think. That's more a legal question, I think, than,
Well,
but,
I'm just saying.
no, but I totally understand what you're saying, as far.
Can I make a comment?
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, if you're selling this lot to somebody who is aware of it,
Correct.
it's their choice. To purchase this lot, or purchase the one next door that doesn't have. That stipulation on it, and then he had, or they had the conversations with the neighbors who own those to work out something amicable. Amongst the property owners.
You're right. But it's also each and every one of those is right down through have done. Across their lots.
But if they're aware, it's their choice to purchase or not.
But are they made aware of it?
Well, I guess that would be my
That would
request,
be our
is that
request,
to
yeah.
make sure that they're aware of all of these factors.
So
So there's no
the.
hidden aspects that pop up down the road and then really piss the neighbors off.
Right, so in the state wastewater permits. Generally, there's a clause in the permit that any homeowner or any person buying a property under that permit. The permit is required to be, and plans are required to be shown to those prospective buyers. I don't have a copy of the actual permit with me, because I gave it so we could get it recorded. But. And
So that has to be disclosed upfront.
correct, it's supposed to be.
So, just so the permits that we have here in front of us for 2045, those are for the existing properties.
That's
We don't see any permits yet for the new development.
That's right.
There is an existing wastewater permit that's been recorded.
But yeah, and can you just pull that out, because I was looking at that earlier, and it was recorded back in.
February.
February.
End of February, well, this is just the cover page, I don't have the actual permit. So that's the cover page,
February 2025. Okay, alright, so what was the one that I was looking at earlier that was dated way back?
This one here,
96, yeah, August.
But so that's for these, that's for these right here,
Which are already in operation.
those are already there.
Alright, so this is good.
that's my mistake there.
No, that's my mistake
that's fine.
too.
That's fine.
That's my mistake too, because when I was looking at it, I was thinking, well, we're gonna be building new, and this is from them, and we may wanna have an update on that, that's what I was thinking, I was gonna talk to you about.
Well, that's what this permit does,
That's
and
what that permit does.
And
Okay.
in the actual permit and any. You know, any of these other permits under before the -11, it says. Any conditions, there's not, I might flub the words up a little bit, but any conditions per. The previous permits are still in effect, otherwise as amended with what the current
plan.
So anything that was approved like under this -7. For this mountain that's here for lot 8.
Yep.
Those conditions apply to lot 8 and all the, you know. Going back and forth, the encumbrances.
That clears up that question for me.
Okay.
It actually makes it a little, it cleans it up for me, because now it sets me at more ease that the state is getting their eyes back on it again to make sure that that it can be approved. So,
And a lot of permits also have the condition of having an HOA for shared systems. Not always, but I wish I had a copy of the permit.
So I just want to take a second and talk to the community about what we're discussing here. They just cleaned up our concern about the wastewater, and they cleaned up the fact that it's going to be that there is a new permit in place and working, so it does meet the state statute. So, and I want everybody in the community to understand that this board does not regulate waste treatment, those plans. We just make sure that that is in place with this permit application and it's current and approved by the state. That's it, that's all we do. They took that away from us, I'm pretty sure it was 2013. It was a while ago.
It's been-
Which I'm glad they did, because every town was regulating it differently, and I'm just glad the state decided to make sure that engineering was in place and the state would approve it with the right engineering in place. I just want everybody to understand.
So
I'm not at the public question, so I just am making my statement.
You want me to understand, but I don't.
Just hold on, I'm not at a place where I can have the community to ask questions, okay? I'm just stating the fact that we don't regulate it, we just confirm that they have a state letter that's approved by a state approved engineer. And once that letter is in place, then it's good to go. That's all we do, okay?
Can we get a copy of the letter?
But let's wait until we get to public comment, so write your question down and I'm happy to help you out through that process, okay? Or those questions. Alright, so I just wanted to take a minute on that, so continue on, Stefan, thank you.
Okay. So that was all the items on your punch list from the previous hearing.
Good.
So now we won't be required a cul-de-sac over here for 13, which was the last bullet.
Yeah.
So.
Okay,
And then the other question was, down the road, once this road is built. Is whether or not this cul-de-sac would need to stay there.
right,
And make it would look cleaner.
yeah,
In the future, if that wasn't there, and then of course access for. Emergency vehicles would go flying straight through instead of having.
Have to
Just
go around.
something to think about, not so much for my clients, but.
well, I'm glad you said that, because I was wondering what was the need of that,
Well, that homeowners association owns that whole thing,
Right,
and
so. it
Oh,
was-
thank you, thank you for
Thank
that,
you.
okay. Okay, and the road is. Proposed with the right footage and right away and.
Right, it's a 60-foot right away, the access over lot 9. Is wider than 60 feet, lot 9 is the last lot before this.
before the big one, yeah.
So that easement is quite a bit wider, very irregular shape prior to. Myself getting involved in this project,
Okay,
but the remaining lands had access over that, through that easement area.
so Stefan, help me understand,
Correct, yes.
cause I'm a little confused here, help me understand what this is all about going into here.
So there's an existing trail out on the back right here that goes out and around,
Oh,
like,
okay.
it's
Farm road.
it's like a farm road,
Okay.
kinda sorta overgrown, but not too bad. Around the pond and the existing camp, it's very well defined. And. The existing road that goes out there is too close to that mound. That is on the left hand side of the drive, the existing mound. So that is why the gray, the shaded gray line is the existing gravel road. But we're gonna be pulling that away to meet state specs for setbacks.
Okay, so how would whoever owns the camp, how will they access that camp?
They're gonna use that existing gravel road just below the cul-de-sac.
From this right here?
Yes.
Okay, alright,
Well, that camp essentially is part of lot 16.
Yeah, it's all part of this, right
So
here.
whoever owns lot 16 will be accessing that.
Correct.
alright,
Does this cul-de-sac exist today?
Yes.
Because of the.
that's what I was saying,
development that it
they're
was,
they're gonna consider making that straight.
Yeah.
Okay,
I think that would
Is it
be,
paved or?
no, it's gravel.
That's it.
That would be probably, a conversation the clients will have, the applicants would
That
have
would
with
be
the
after
HOA.
that was put in.
yeah.
Correct.
we're gonna do
After
that,
that,
yes.
yeah.
Okay. Alright, so let me start my questions again, Jim, any questions?
No, only my comments.
Only your
That was all.
comment? Alright, now I'm gonna go to the right. Edge, any questions?
I mean, I have some, but I don't know if they can be answered, honestly. I actually, in full disclosure, I actually got a couple of phone calls out to the state DEC right now and ANR asking for clearance or clarification on these permits and how they came to fruition way back when.
The permit process, you mean?
Yeah,
Okay,
for, establishing wastewater permits and where they're located, and now they're gonna be constructing houses over a pre-existing wastewater disposal site. That's the questions I have. So I've got voicemail out to them, waiting on them to come reply back.
that
So
could
you
help
had
with that.
you had the same thoughts that I had.
Yeah, even though that we don't have jurisdiction over wastewater, I need to educate myself as to how that is possible.
Right.
So,
So it's separate then,
See, I have a problem, Reggie, I have a problem in regards to it, that this is a failure here. This guy here's a house, his front door yard and his driveway gets torn up.
but according to the deed, everybody has access to all of that area. Those 3 homes have access for maintenance, upkeep and everything else, so.
but
If the people who bought 11, 12, 13, 14 don't want them to access that for maintenance, it's a moot point, they have to have access to that.
I understand it's a discussion point, but we,
Yeah, exactly,
we can't act on it because it's,
just saying,
it's, yeah,
that's why I'm.
taken out of our hands, which. Honestly, I'm glad. For this reason right here, but.
Yeah.
maybe someday we, yeah.
I just need to understand that better.
It's pretty common today, cause when these subdivisions started. You know, there was a lot of land there, and as the previous owner decided to. Move forward and do more work, you know, there's 4 or 5 permits where it changed just what type of housing was going up here. And then these were done, I long before, I think, any of the subdivision work.
A permit is actually 22 or 2002 when it was finally approved, but 96 it was established.
But I have many projects where I run across this where. An existing system is out in the backfield of somebody else's property and you don't know it until you start digging, just like what you're doing.
Okay. Alright, because.
Any other questions, Reg?
No, that's all I got. I mean, everything else has been covered, cul-de-sacs, roadway, widths, driveways, all that stuff.
Okay, so I know the gentleman in the hat had a question, your name?
Ray Gillespie,
Skolesky,
I'm
yeah,
from 113 Michon.
okay,
The shared driveway for 11 and 12 lots. It goes within single feet of a barn that I have at the end of my driveway. It does, my barn is not shown in the map.
can you come up, please?
Yeah, sure.
Can you just pencil in?
Yeah, we're in lot 4,
Yeah, pencil in right where that barn is.
the barn is right. It's like here from the driveway, it goes like this. And you can reach out and put your arm into this path here.
Okay,
So if they build a road there, how they're not gonna damage my barn, it's hard to imagine.
What's the barn?
yeah, with the barn,
It should be shown there, it's at the end of the driveway continues.
I think
I understand, but-
she's gonna ask a different question what I was
Okay,
gonna ask, so go ahead, I'm
Is
pretty
the
sure.
barn a new build or was it pre-existing when you bought the property?
It was pre-existing,
Okay,
So do you know the rough?
no,
Setbacks.
yeah, that's what I'm talking about, setbacks, there would be no setback, I mean, less than 10 feet.
Okay.
That's
well, that,
number one, number two, it's a swamp, all this in here is a swamp. And there's a natural stream running around our properties that flows in this direction. This fills up with water like 4 inches deep right now. And it's in there most of the summer, it has standing water, but it runs in a stream around here and out. What's gonna happen to all that water?
well, during the design path, we will, as this thing goes, we'll show the drainage and things like that. of the
So
property.
there'll have to be a stormwater permit also issued for that.
So
Okay.
this current wastewater,
Yeah, it's straight
that's
ahead.
currently there, correct?
Right,
Because those lots all exist, so
Yeah,
that
it's-
already exists.
So your pinch point here is very narrow,
So you get 30 feet of driveway.
yeah. But I mean, the setback to my barn would be like 5 feet, or, you know, reach out and touch it from your car window. If this pushes through like that.
Right, because your barn is pre-existing,
Right,
because if we
yeah.
were allowing it today, it would not be
Right.
allowed to build as is
Exactly.
today.
Not only that, there's boundary separation trees, large ones all along my driveway that would probably need to come down based on the map.
Any other questions, sir?
Yeah, see, this easement for our drainage or our wastewater system, it goes right under 3 of the lots.
That's what we've been
That's
discussing.
what we're.
Yeah, and I mean, having 10-ton trucks ride over it left and right.
So that's what we've been discussing, and
Yeah.
that's why, that's all part of this permit and the approval, so.
Okay.
It's already-
So
You're
we'll come back to the next meeting and it'll be figured out.
Is that gravity or is that force main? So you guys live next door.
Yeah, it's forced, yeah.
Okay, so forced is, okay,
So that's already in the process of being figured out
Okay.
by the state.
So,
And then we
to
will,
follow up, what do we do, come to the next meeting or?
you're always welcome
Oh,
at the
okay,
next
so
meeting.
just come in,
Yeah.
okay,
So this
thank
feeds these 3 lots? Plus the
yeah,
ones that go up
exactly, yeah, these 3 houses have a combined system that go out here.
there? Okay.
But as far as this goes, like we have 2 roads going into 7 lots, one here and one over here. They come meet in the middle, why do you need a third one? You know, I just don't see the reason. And you're gonna move a swamp for
So
that?
does this road, Phil, already exist?
No,
it's just a right.
no,
Just a road,
you-
but
No,
it's,
it's not a right of way.
but you could come over this
It's
side
part of
here
it.
and just go.
right, so it's already existing 20
No, it's not existing.
It's part of the
Piece of
property.
land, part of the
It's-
property.
yeah.
It's part of the.
So it's not like they're subdividing or setting something new, it
Right.
is there already.
And now this is part of lot three, if
No.
you started out went this way,
Okay, hold up,
you know.
alright, so that's already existing, right?
Yeah.
That is
Okay.
part of lot
So
5.
it's already there. So the damage has already been done on that, okay, alright, so I'm good.
Okay.
Thank you very much, any other questions in the community? Miss
Mayor,
Mayo?
I already this spring had to call Working Dog. Because I didn't realize that Ellsworth had already sold sold the land to Mr. Dean. And I was out there and Mr. Dean was building, digging a drainage to drain his land. Which he told me that it was for his home and horses, nothing of anything that was gonna be going on. Like this going on. But he had equipment up on the upper part where our septic is. And I was sitting there with my daughter and like, what is that alarm? Went down cellar and it was my septic. So I called Working Dog just to be safe, can you check this out? And he said, you appear to be fine. I said, okay, thank God. But with heavy equipment up there, once he sells to a realtor, then we deal with the realtor, then we deal with the homeowner. And it just doesn't make sense that they have to go over our line.
Thank you, we'll take that into considerations, any other questions?
No, working, so who, is it?
Working Dog is a septic service?
Yeah.
Working dogs is that, okay,
I don't, they're accidentally.
okay, thank you.
Miss?
Lisa Newhart.
Yeah.
A clarifying question, are the proposed lots single family homes, all of them?
They appear to be at this time,
What's the
right?
permit, what's the
Yeah.
permit say, the permit should say there's.
Permit said single family,
Single
4-bedroom on some of them and 3-bedroom on some of them.
Okay, so yes.
Will the 50-foot
Okay, I see, yes.
buffer, will the 50-foot buffer be withheld for the stream that runs that Ray was speaking of? Right along the lot 7 or lot 11, sorry?
50-foot buffer on this side, so she's here, so are you talking on?
You on the other side?
Runs right
50-foot
along
buffer?
lot 11 on the back. of
Oh,
the
straight down,
properties.
so you're talking about that right there,
That stream.
There's a stream there.
There's a land dug ditch.
No, we don't.
what is the plan?
Water flows through there.
That'll be changed or right through here.
So it's not a stream, it's a man dug ditch.
It's like a swale, something like
No,
that.
the previous owner dug it because someone was going across the property.
Okay.
So
Oh.
he dug ditches along the entire perimeter of the property to keep people from trespassing, basically.
So you dug a ditch over the main.
Yeah, he did for the property.
So water flows through there 12 months a year and there's wetlands upland of that.
That ditch around the perimeter of our homes has been there
So
as.
you hold on,
Oh,
I'll get back to you, okay?
I will.
And when we're done with her, then I'll ask if there's another question, if you raise your hand quick enough before anybody else, and I'll address you, okay? Alright, so the swale, I guess we're gonna take drainage into consideration for the, and I know Stefan is
See that?
gotta work on that too, so. Okay,
And according to the Vermont Agency of Natural Resources Wetlands Inventory, a data map lists that lots 11, 12, 13, possibly 14 are wetlands. I want that to be taken into consideration.
we'll have to work with Amy on that and the guys.
So there was another applicant that came to us with the same thing, they were looking for lots. And they happened to be in wetlands, and he could never get his permit from the state, so we don't issue those permits.
To Spencer's point earlier, that is state,
That's state.
not us.
I mean, they
If the
can,
state approves it, that's the state's choice that we have to regulate or. Well,
So and it looks like they've already approved it, so, but we'll debate that in deliberative session. Any other questions?
Yeah.
How
How do we even copy that?
I'm not done with this young lady.
Good for now, thank you.
Alright, sir,
How do we get a copy of that letter from the state wastewater commission? I wanna know who to talk to about the drainage, about the septic system thing.
Amy, can you help with that one? How?
I can give you a number to call.
Okay. We can't get a copy of the letter though that approves it.
But that.
But
I'd like to see who signs off on it,
So hold on,
Right.
Amy doesn't give copies of the state letter or anything like that, and the number she's gonna give you is to the state office, and they'll. If they render that your question, your reason for it is good enough, they'll give you a copy for it, I guess. Follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but it's right here, it is current, so.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Ms. Mayo?
Could you refresh my memory on the ditch that supposedly? As far as I'm aware, when we purchased our home in 2003, that was farmland. And that ditch has been around that property for a very long time. It was a cow pasture.
Okay,
No, she's not.
so are you talking about this very same ditch that that was brought up by the gentleman next year? Yeah, hold on.
Have her come up to the table.
Yeah, are you talking about this ditch here or which?
Is this your property?
Which property?
I'm right here.
Are you there or are you the one over here?
This is Bob Irish, this is.
Are you by the new driveway?
No,
No, you're this one then?
No.
With these three?
yeah, I'm these three.
Okay.
What? Okay, were you the first owner?
Yes. And as my understanding is that on this corner between Joe Irish and I, that is Bill Irish's property. That ditch along there,
This one's yours.
Yes.
this one's mine.
This is the ditch you're talking about.
Nope, I'm talking about this ditch coming along here.
So there's a ditch here.
It
Down
goes
along
all the way around the property.
Down along the old farmhouse.
Correct.
That was the one I had the question on the horse name, putting the ditch there.
And that's all ditch.
Right.
So this is the ditch here, this is the 50-foot force main. And then there is also a ditch between you and
That
Mr.
goes out to
Irish's,
the town.
so it goes under the road.
No, it's a ditch all the way down the road.
So there's a ditch, you have to cross a ditch to go into your
So,
driveway.
question.
Well, not now,
You longer here than this, right?
But there's a ditch along the whole, I don't know how this is not saying anything. Each side of the road, there's a whole ditch.
Each side of three. Is
So
it?
as to who put it in there?
The previous owner was you got.
Alright.
And this ditch circles around.
Okay, I think that just cleared it up, thank you, Ms. Mayo.
You're welcome.
Alright, any other questions? Ms. Taylor, do you have any questions?
I don't think so right now. Thank you.
You're welcome. Alright, seeing no other questions, any other final questions from the board?
Nope, thank you.
Okay, I think we got through this. For tonight.
They're giving you a straw.
I have a question. Waste of drainage,
From where?
yes, that'll come to us next meeting.
Depends if the engineer has it. He's working.
That should clean up that.
The next hearing will be preliminary, right? This was the continuance.
This is continuous.
Sketch.
The next one will be preliminary.
It's not written on there.
But that should clean up any existing ditches and stuff, because you're gonna wanna reroute that drainage anyways.
Right, he's looking at all.
No, yeah. Okay, just wanna make sure I'm thinking correctly here, that's all. Alright,
May I just make a comment about the ditching aspect? So I know we have another property before us for development a year or so ago. And they had a lot of water issues in their development, but the proposed ditching that, or the grading that was put in place would actually reduce the amount of water that existed and they dealt with today.
That's why I was talking to Stefan about waste, just a few seconds ago about that. Okay, I'm good. Any, guys, thank you very much for coming in front of us, appreciate it. Yep, you too. Thank you.
I've got your. Thank you all. Have a good holiday weekend.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yes,
You as well.
Get ready to go down to the break.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
Just clear the room out, that one,
Yeah, I
guys,
guess
come
I did,
on.
didn't I? All right,
You're leaving too?
my God. I was coming in for the Cummings.
Oh, and he didn't.
What happened to that one?
He didn't
show
he
up
didn't
yet.
hear.
He didn't show up?
arrive, so we called
So
him. Were you disputing?
No, I kind of neighborhood. I told him to.
You're welcome.
No, I think I grabbed
Yeah,
yours
we called
over
him,
here.
but he
That
didn't
one's mine, that one's yours.
Unusual for him to not be here. Thank you.
Why nobody's here to complain?
I know, what are you gonna do? Where's the fun now?
Since when was that Bashan Road? It was always Bashan Road when I.
It's always been.
I was questioning about it, but anyway.
There's not, it depends which French twist you put on.
Few people. Oh, the Bashan.
Yeah, you know what?
Isn't it Bashan?
It's
Well, that's what I thought, but I guess it, I'm not.
When I moved in.
Well,
I'm not either.
You know, when I first.
We met, you know, there's variations, but not the same. Bouchie, bouchie.
I'm not saying being Labarge, I'm trouble. with my English. Alright, as Reg knows, I.
He's through the city every time.
Your friends would be
Yeah.
bastardized by.
Well,
Every single time for how many years?
Wait, what is it?
I mean, if I was you just doing the French right at the end of it, I mean, I'd be done.
Maybe a little more musical.
I'd be correct every time, but no, you might be.
I did give
English
copies,
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was looking around, everyone had a thing in their hand, I was going.
You only gave me a big one and I made.
Thank you.
That's
I'm supposed to.
That's what she does.
You got it.
Okay.
They're rolled up somewhere.
It's, you're good.
Yeah. I don't know if they- It's in there somewhere, Jim.
It's very.
Where I know this by heart, you want to just look at it.
This is pretty straightforward, it should be, right, it's just
Get another
a
one.
Should be, yeah.
boundary line adjustment. Alright, so now it's DRB 13/2025. Jason Bushy requests for a boundary line adjustment at 110 Sugar Maple Drive in the R3 Moderate District. Sugar Maple, that's still up by
Mayor Jim.
Bashan.
Just the next one, right? Alright, okay, so. Talk to us, what do you wanna do here, sir?
So just for housekeeping, they were gonna remove this line, I own this lot and this lot.
Wait a minute,
So
start
this-
again.
Yeah, so here's my lot right here, this line here. In here, this is my house, and then I own this as well,
So you own this plus this,
yes,
okay,
and so they were just gonna erase that line,
yeah,
so it's one lot instead of two lots,
so this is basically going away,
yeah. And then taking 1 acre south of me. From our estate, family estate, and that's it. So this will all be one contiguous
Got it.
lot.
so this is getting removed, and then this, basically, this is getting removed right here too.
Yes.
Coming
These two.
here,
Adjust it.
coming away from this. Spot of the state.
Okay,
I have no questions, thank you.
Reg, no?
I do, I need to understand what is happening here.
Yeah.
Basically-
Let's go to Amy here.
Basically, Amy,
And
This
that
whole thing.
so it's right now 2 lots.
So you
it's
get
a
that,
piece of land that was left over from his grandfather's. That was brought in back years ago when you could take a piece of land and stick it with another piece of property.
Okay,
And it was a piece of land that was left over from subdivisions of his grandfather's many years ago.
so is this going with this?
No.
Or go with
So
this?
this is the existing. In here, not here, and then this is mine as well, but they're just gonna erase that one, so this is one line.
and then erase the other line too.
And then
Okay.
take an acre from this. piece here.
So it'll be all one big L-shaped property,
Okay,
with the red lines being the final property line.
And this is basically just to get the septic system
Some of it.
onto his property, yeah.
So in short, Amy, eventually it's gonna look like a modern version of Massachusetts.
That was the goal.
that does not look like Massachusetts.
Boy.
knew I'd fire her up. Alright. Jim, any questions?
That's why I said I was involved in it, and I talked about.
Oh, you're in cahoots about this, huh?
So the barn that is close to the new property line, what is the
It's
setback?
16 feet, I believe, it was an extra foot than it needed to be.
Yeah, 15 foot.
Good job, Jim. Good job, Jim.
He said you guys would.
We made sure that we got everything.
I'm sure Jim just said, just do it my way, I'll make it go. Alright, I don't have any questions, any questions in the community?
Can I ask a future question?
This is for sure.
Really?
Yeah, for real.
There's 3 pines that are just south of the line that we're moving.
3 pines.
3 pines, so when my parents put our names under them, grew the pines, and now this might go to this is gonna come up for a private sale, unfortunately. So we were talking about adjustment and capture those, but it would take some angles and it wouldn't capture the full septic this time in a trail. Mark Day said, or Mark Day said that you guys don't really like angles, or is that true? He said that if it gets, he might be talking about a different board too, like maybe he deals with a lot of people, but if there was some.
Who's Mr. Day?
The day survey, day land survey.
He said he would send in, he would do a write up and send in markup just to see if you guys would be okay with.
Oh, he's out of Fletcher.
He's in St. Albans now, or
So
so.
draw the property line to encompass those trees.
Those trees, and then I have, if you can see down here, there's a septic,
Yeah.
and I have
Yeah.
and I have a easement for that,
Yeah.
but there's a little pad there too, so that way I could mow, I could get a mower in and do that. I mean, I guess I can anyway if I have an easement, but
Yeah.
just make it cleaner, and that was Jim's suggestion for everyone, we could do that.
So the barn that I was just
Yeah,
questioning
that
will
would
will
stay,
stay on the other property, not on your property.
correct, and that's the thing where it would make
So-
it it would encapsulate that.
Do you need any outside storage, like for tractors, lawnmowers?
I'd love to take
So you
that,
wanna take the barn,
but then we're thinking it would devalue the way.
Is it a big barn?
It's pretty good size, and there's
But
another
you got
one
2
just,
barns. You
there's
have
another
2
one
barns.
right there
Yeah,
too,
you got
yeah.
2 barns, why?
I would just
You got
straight
a
line
barn
it,
over here too. You got one there.
There's barns everywhere.
I would just straight line it.
Do you wanna?
Yeah, I honestly would keep that barn.
Well, I can,
That would be a great
And you can
man.
gas them.
I can tell you what the price for it, but yeah, it was a lot more. I'm not buying it, that's the thing.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Yeah, so but if, let's just pretend I didn't buy the barn. I didn't do that, am I allowed to go 15 feet around it?
well, pretending I mean, as long as.
Or as scenario 1?
I mean, you could cut a corner out of it, you'd be
I
fine.
think we're.
Like doing a,
So where are the
Because
trees?
it's got a little
again?
leg over here.
Where are the trees, here, draw the trees in, draw the trees.
so the trees would be. Or, yeah, probably about here, 3, so the line would do this.
Oh my,
But why,
That's what he was saying.
why do this?
Because I don't know if my brothers would give me taking this, I
What if
would.
you just do this?
That's the first.
Yeah, that would give me this, but then the thinking was, well, I might as well take that septic so I can get in. To it, because right now it's.
So you gotta bargain with your brothers and maybe.
But you're gonna have an easement anyway, cause your permit must have you.
It doesn't.
Okay, so you've got access regardless.
Right. And do I have access
and
to
then he's
get
gonna
on?
be 15 feet.
Yes. You
So,
need a
Mr.
permit.
Bushy, just so you understand, if you do a straight
Right, what's that?
line.
His
Make sure there's
wastewater
about
permit for
15
septic,
feet.
he has a
Yeah.
permanent easement to access his septic system.
Well,
I third,
I would have to go back, yes, he
You have
does,
to be
he
thinking
has
out both
I
barns.
think it's a 12 foot.
So if you've got
Right
50
away.
feet here, you go straight down the
Right.
center. and
Correct.
up.
Yeah.
And all the maintenance and upkeep
That's
and all
right.
that,
Yeah.
so he has to have
I'm trying to
access.
think of that.
I would rather
Over the
work
10
with
feet. I think
that.
it's 12 feet, but
You know what I mean?
something,
Actually,
I had to get one.
That's also,
Than this.
Yeah.
Myself personally, I'm
Yeah,
gonna tell you, I would rather work with a straight line shot and come up with a waiver or a variance for the footage between the barn and the property line and this barn and this property line, and then deal with something like that, cause that's gonna get kind of convoluted in the future.
No,
well, that was the.
Jim-
I think
Jim
that's
knows
what
more
he was
about it than I
talking
do.
about.
it's one other thing.
Yeah.
In the new bylaws,
Yeah,
this business of variations is a no-no.
Angles and things like that.
So this is what he's talking
Yeah.
about. then.
So then,
future
so,
bylaws, not the-
alright, so
That makes
then
sense.
he's on it more than,
Yeah.
yeah, but that's about to come out anyway, so we haven't gotten training on that yet.
Yeah,
Alright, so
that's cool, I was just trying to figure out the,
I would talk
what's
to,
allowed,
I would talk to your brothers and say, hey, look. I mean,
come on,
yeah.
one's bigger than me.
Both my-
I think I can beat
You
them.
know what? I'm the youngest of three boys.
Yeah,
Both my brothers are retired New York State correctional officers. I take them on all the time, okay?
yeah, but it's not about strength, it's about your mind.
yeah, I just use weight on one and,
Yeah.
what is it 150 now road frontage? For a building, or is it, what, did it go down to
It's
190?
150 now.
It's-
Yeah, I
It has to
strongly
be-
consider that straight.
It has to be 1 acre.
Yeah.
That's okay. We can keep it if you want.
I have quite a few, okay. Sorry.
And all of that's first.
Yeah, they-
The applicant that came in for. Should be good.
Okay, great.
Oh, you're not in here for Mr. Bushy?
The application that he's here for should be good, not talking about the one he's talking about, the
Oh,
one as is.
I took it on record.
I didn't know what the hell you're talking about.
It's going to the future.
Yeah, because
Yeah, no, I was just,
he was talking
we
about.
were just talking about that the other day. Is that was gonna stay within the family, but now it's. So that's gonna go to the public, unfortunately. So,
Your brothers didn't wanna buy it either?
no, one can, and then the other one doesn't want, he lives just down the road,
Yeah, it is what it is. We all have to get there with our parents.
yeah.
My brothers and I were able to do the same thing, very similar. We were able to, my mom and dad had our family property moors and family camp in Shazy on the Shazy River. We are able to keep the camp in the family. We're all three of us own it.
Right.
Keeping it as in honor of mom and dad.
Yeah,
And we all go there, and we always spend pretty quality time at the house and moors. My father went and made a contingency that, gotta keep it in the family somehow, so I built this property, I fielded the logs under the large farm, and we're like, oh. And then we're gonna keep this in the family, because we weren't raised like that,
Yeah.
we were raised to, do your own thing and make it happen.
Yeah.
We managed to sell it to the other nieces.
oh, nice, well, that's the, maybe somebody will come out of the woodwork there, Mr. Pratt was looking at it, I think. Okay, so.
Thank you. Ricky, have a
See
good
you,
day.
take care.
Good evening, Jason.
All right, so now we gotta address number 5, elect a new vice chair.
I'd like to make a motion. That Reggie makes excellent vice chair.
I'll second.
I didn't see that bus coming.
All in favor? All in favor?
I didn't even know what we were doing this tonight, so.
All in favor?
All right, so motion's been made for Reg as the vice chair. Reg, do you accept the motion? Reg accepts the motion. Second has been made, the motion was made by Jim, seconded by Jen. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any nays? Hearing none, so moved. Reg, congratulations.
Now get your lingo together there, Reg.
Yeah. Special orders.
All right, so let's go down. Do I hear a motion for the minutes?
Take those short minutes from last meeting.
Jen made a motion to approve, do I hear a second? Seconded by Jim, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Any nays, hearing none, so moved. What about any other necessary, excuse me, any other necessary business?
Yeah. Walk around, maybe you can put on me twice. Put that on record. Just kidding.
So, anything else?
I do, need an accurate email for all of you. I need you to do the ethics training. And I will send you the link for it, and when you do it, put my email in to receive it, and when I get it. Well, I'll basically just add it like another meeting so you get paid again for it. And the select board did make a motion Tuesday night to increase all of your pay. From 45 a meeting to 55, and yours from 55 to 65.
No.
Starting June first.
Yes, effective June 1st.
So,
It was my conversation with Joel was, we've got all these openings and maybe people aren't doing it because it really doesn't pay that much, so. I mean, it's not a lot, but it's something.
Openings.
So anyway, let's kind of, before we go to that, what is the pay range again?
So 55 for members,
$10.
65 for chair,
And
per meeting. And I will add you for a meeting when you do the ethics training, so you pay for it.
Thank you very much.
I just need your certificate because I have to keep filing with the state. Just
The
so
opening
so I
that
can
exists,
send
do we
it to you.
have, is this something we discuss in deliberative session or do we discuss it in?
No, I think we keep this in open forum. I know of one applicant that was telling Reg about today. Was Kirsten Bourgeois. I know that she'll send in her resume, because she spoke to the rest,
Yeah,
that she
she
was
did.
interested in it, and I told her to,
So it'll go before the select board, I think. June 17th is the intent to review that. They gave them 30 days to apply.
okay, so,
Just the one that you know.
go
Just
ahead,
the one, so.
that's the one I know. Do you know of any others? Alright, so,
There's a couple other interested, but I've not received.
alright, so
But
something
there's
that,
also planning committee spots open too. There's also planning commission spots open too.
Yeah.
Both posted.
yeah, I was gonna speak to me. The process that I'm accustomed to that this board has done in the past, when I first came on this board, and then it got broken for a little while, and it was blocked, and then they got put back to the same process. And that is the applicant comes in front of this board, and we do like a little quasi interview of them, you know what I mean? And then we make recommendations to the select board, who then they can choose to re-interview the applicant or just pick our selection.
Okay, I would encourage you to talk to Joel then, because I was not told me to do it.
Well, me, Joel and I.
We know better,
He
right?
does know better, because all of a sudden when you show up, when somebody shows up, you're like, who the hell is this? Oh, we're your new board member, like. It's just not, I will talk to Joel.
So Joel's on the planning, it's select board,
Select
but
board
who's-
chair.
so for planning.
Jim has resigned. And
Well, you're way on it temporary.
No,
And
as far as I was concerned, I was only
and
there.
Andy is intended to be done now that they've done the bylaws too, is my understanding, so there's two there.
And
Who else is doing the thing?
plus, what's it say, something too, right?
And
So Jim replaced Ed.
So is Ed off now, or,
Jim replaced
Yeah.
it.
I understand,
That's
but
off.
replacing, to me, could mean replacing
Wasn't
short-term.
temporary.
full-time.
it's full time,
Okay,
it's
got it.
not, it's off.
Okay, alright, so then actually there's three.
Yeah.
Okay, alright,
So round up some people.
so I'm
Tell your
kind of
friends.
fortunate that I'm only missing one. I'm only missing 1 and 3. Not yet, hold on, sorry.
I have your Spencer, I don't need your. I have Jim's.
And Jim's just getting.
If you have a town, right? I don't know.
Listers.
I keep it.
Alright.
Did you have to do that? This thing?
So you should have a table on me.
Okay, cause we did it.
Did you give that lady, did you give that guy a copy of the permit?
Just the number.
Okay, perfect, thank you. He can put his own
It
light.
should have a table on me, so
Alright,
it's JDNN.
Thank
do
you.
I hear a motion to go into executive session?
I'd like to make the motion that we go into executive session.
Motion's been made by Jim, seconded by
Jen?
Jen. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any nays? Hearing none, so moved. Okay.
Yeah.
Do I hear a motion to come out of the executive order, session?
I'd like to make a motion that we come out of the executive session.
Jim's made a motion, do I hear a second?
Yep, second.
Seconded by Reg, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, any nays? Hearing none, so moved. Can I have a motion for number one, DRB 05-2025?
I'd like to make a motion for item number one, DRB 05-2025, Ron Macy, request for a final plat approval for a 5-lot subdivision located at 127 Lakewood Drive in the SR Shoreline District as warned.
So motion's been made by,
With septic approval.
Pending.
oh yeah,
With
Approval
septic, oh
accepted
yes,
from
with
the
the
board
septic
of the
approval from the state.
and recorded with the town. Okay, so motion's been made by Jim with the amendment as warned pending state application for the septic system be approved and submitted to the town. Okay, do I hear a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Jen, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, any nays? Hearing none, so moved. Do I hear a motion for number two, DRB 09-2025?
I'll take DRB 090 or 2025, Richard Cummings request for final plat approval for a 7-lot major subdivision located at 61 Lydia's Ridge, located in the SG Southern Growth District, be continued due to the absence of Mr. Cummings.
Motion's been made, do I hear a second?
Second the motion.
All in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Hearing none, so moved. I will take number three, DRB 10-2025, William Dean and Rachel Martell. Request for a preliminary plat approval for a 7-lot major subdivision located at 63 Vashon Road in the R3 moderate density resident district. That we continue this to resolve these septic system to be in a homeowners association. And we're referring to Article 6, Section 6.4E. The board feels like the septic systems need to be in a homeowner association. Under Section 6.4 letter E. Do I hear a second?
I'll make a second.
Seconded by Jen, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any nays? Hearing none, so moved. Do I hear a motion for number four, DRB 13-2025?
I'll make the motion, DRB 13-2025, Jason Bushy, request for a boundary line adjustment located at 110 Sugar Maple Drive in the R3 moderate density residential district, approved as warned.
Motion's been made by Jen, do I hear a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Jim, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Hearing none, so moved. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I'd like to make a motion that we adjourn the DRB meeting of, what is it, May 22,
22nd.
2025.
Thank you, and do I hear a second?
Second.
Seconded by Reg, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Hearing none, so moved. Thank you very much all.
Thank you.
The next one is the 26th.
Yes, I'll be on 26.